Hey everybody, it's Robbie here, and it's Thursday night, and excited that, I don't know if excited is the word, but we've had a lot of rain, and it's good timing because I've got Vince here. Vince is, I guess you know Robert, our guy who was doing all the caulking and stuff, and he's been away camping, enjoying himself, I hope, so thank you for coming out and checking out what's left to do. We've had a look at the couple of little leaks that are still happening, and what do you think, man?
I'm trying to trace down the source of the water. I can see a lot of moisture on the blocks there, which is usually from the driving rain.
Yeah, check this out.
You get less drying in the areas where you have this little knee wall jutting out because the air isn't circulating.
Yeah.
So it's not pulling the moisture out of the block, but even with the moisture in the block, they shouldn't be penetrating the building envelope that way. I'm looking for some telltale signs of some type of crack or some type of opening, or even something that's actually directing the water in a way that's leading it into the building as opposed to pulling it away from the building. Mm-hmm. Similar to like the way this place is graded when you have a basement. If you have it graded towards the building, obviously it's going to direct the water in there, and then it's going to overload any type of waterproofing that you have.
Right. At least we've got, I mean, one of our viewers was saying if we've got this kind of area of ground that is a bit of a ditch that fills up with water, but even though that's a problem to the foundation, we do have an elevation of about a foot.
Yeah.
So
for the water to be any type of an issue here, it does create sort of a swale in towards the building. It would be something that would be absorbed up through the slab, and it would be basically wet all the way through. And you've got so much distance there that you're not going to be able to get that moisture. Will definitely go underneath the slab eventually, but it's almost like an equilibrium where you have the same amount of moisture inside eventually as you do outside. So it's not really going to cause an issue where it's going to start coming upward.
Right.
Gravity works in your favor in that point.
Okay.
I think we may have to take a look at the roof because even though the caulking has been redone. A lot of parts, water that's leaking in here, it's either got to be someplace to do with the door itself, or that it's coming up from the roof area.
Okay. So why don't, what I'm going to do, I'm going to show Vince the stuff that I've already shown you at home, the couple of places where Robert has found some possible entry points of water, and then we'll get up on the roof. What do you say?
Yep.
All right. It's actually a really good thing that we've got this rain, Vince, because we know that there's no cementitious compound under here, and you can see that there's a gap about like an inch. And this brick here, you can see that the water has come down along the siding and gotten under that flashing, and that's exactly where it's missing all the cement.
Yeah.
So, and that the fact that one brick is so wet makes me think that it's probably getting in there.
Well, it's the way this is supposed to be designed. Directed water, even the part that comes down.
Yeah.
The fact that you got a little bit of a gap in there, it's kind of soaking that block.
But that's exactly where some of the water is
coming from. He may be running down along that seam.
Yeah.
Because that definitely needs to be recaulked. It's not sealed up into there. Maybe we'll put the ladder up and I'll do a little investigating in that corner there, and see if we can't see some telltale signs of water traveling that way.
Okay, a couple of real quick things. One, we're not going to go up on the roof because we decided that would be really dumb. It's been pouring rain all day. Everything is freezing cold. It's really cold. 9 degrees C here. I don't know how it went from 34 to 9, but it's been rainy. We've got a tin roof. I don't think it's a good idea to be walking on a slanted tin roof in the rain without proper protection at least. So, wanted to show you. Number 2, this is the door. It's our storage room. That's where we're going to be able to throw supplies and all that kind of crazy stuff. And if you've been following my blog, baldnerd.com, you saw that we had a poll there. Hope you were able to participate in that, but we had a vote for what we should do with this door. Because it came up, Gene was here and said, what should we do with that door? And Krista said, what should we do? Are we just going to paint it white? Or are we just going to leave it as it is? It's not going to really look that great. So guess what it is? We have a decal going on that door. And that door is going to look like the TARDIS from Doctor Who. So that's what your votes got us. We're going to be putting a nice big sticker on there, and that's going to be really, really cool. So tonight, I'm going to put some corner bead on the windows. The windowsills, I've got a get as much done as I can. I really want to get the final mudding done because it feels like I'm just not getting to it because there's so many other little things to do. But tonight, definitely the corner bead on the 2 windows that I've already done. I got to get the windowsill, I got to get it filled in so that it's going to be level when I come back and glue on the windowsill. Then I can finally do the corner bead on the 3rd window. And I want to get the final mudding done so that tomorrow I can come back, do a sanding. I say final mudding, it's going to be the final mudding for a lot of it. But I probably have another coat in a few different places, but at least I'm going to be almost there. So that hopefully in 2 days, that's Saturday, we're going to be able to come back here and start priming the walls. So here I go. It's going to be a long, busy night. I've had a full day already, and I'm going to be here all night. So let's stick it out together. We'll have some fun. Okay, Vince is outside, and he's got something to show you. You're not going to believe this. Hey, Vince.
Hey, how you doing?
So what's going on here?
So, I was checking out some of these blocks over here and checking out the mortar. And this mortar here just came out basically with a little bent piece of corner beam. And even this one here, you can see it just breaking off relatively easily. Like I made this hole in here just before the camera started rolling. Which means we definitely have a lot of moisture in this area in here and it's saturating the block.
So it's actually taken that cementitious compound
and
and
breaking it down.
broke it down.
Yeah, the water's breaking it down basically.
Do you think this is going to be a problem like on the whole wall or just where it's wet here?
Well, just where it's wet. Usually in scenarios like this, you could repoint the blocks.
Yeah.
So you restore the joints.
Yeah.
But you do definitely have to solve the problem as far as the water's coming in, the water coming into that area. It's hard to judge here because you have this stuff here. We should all be cut away.
Yeah, we can cut that out.
Because they always go into the joints. They actually penetrate the mortar joints.
Yeah.
And root, and they cause a lot of problems. Part of the problem too. That's going in there. The fact that it's wet here is hard to judge whether or not it's just because it's in a confined space and the air is not allowing it to dry, or because all this vegetation is growing around and again keeping it shaded and wet.
Right.
There definitely is a water source coming in someplace here. The electrical room is behind here, and we don't have access to it presently, so we may have a water problem just traveling through the electrical room and ending up here and causing.
It makes sense
corner.
that if you're going to have water, let's make it in the electrical room.
Yeah. Yeah, because electricity and water go so well together, don't they?
Mix it together and make a cocktail.
Yeah. Hopefully we can get access to that.
All right.
You contacted the landlord, right?
I can.
Yeah.
All right.
So maybe we can get access to that room.
There we go. So that could definitely be another entry point that we didn't even know about.
Bring the ladder up, set up above these windows and see if we've got water penetrating the top of the window and traveling inside the wall, or penetrating the sill of the window and traveling inside the wall. Because somehow the water's getting inside there. It seems to be the worst in this area here. So,
And this is in proximity, just so everybody at home knows.
Yeah.
There's our emergency exit where water is coming in. You can see, how dry that is versus this wall here. And that's the corner where, look at the floor damage, right? And there's a fair bit of water there right now. Okay, so I'm sanding away here, and Vince is basically looking at me with a funny look on his face and says, "No, you're doing it all wrong, Robbie. Come over here, bud." Okay, so this guy apparently knows what he's talking about. There we are on this. He's going to show us a little bit about, you're saying how I can speed things up.
Speed things up, and instead of having to sand a lot, you can just apply a little more plaster and feather it.
But Vince, we love to sand.
Yeah, I know, I can tell. Because you've been doing it for a little while.
Okay, let's take a look at what Vince is going to show us here. Anybody who can save me sanding time is basically my hero.
I can see you wasting a lot of material as well.
Hey, what are you talking about?
See your pale mud here?
Yeah.
You want to make sure you keep the level of mud as even as possible. And when you're done for the night, you level this all off. And then you pour some fresh water on top of there, and you make sure that the water covers everything. And then when you're ready to use it the next day, just pour the water out.
Okay.
mix it around a bit with a trowel, and you're ready to go. All this stuff here on the edge,
Yeah.
if you let this stuff dry, it turns to hard pebbles and almost like rocks. So when
Okay.
you go to apply it onto the wall, they end up leaving lines all over the place. So what you do is make sure you clean the pail. Even if you take a sponge
Yeah.
and use a sponge with water and actually wipe clean the inside of the pail when
Okay.
you're done. Keep water in the pail when you're storing it. You put the lid on so nobody knocks it over, knocks your water flying, and the water doesn't dehydrate as quick. And you'll be able to have mud that's actually better the second time you use it than when you first open it. So we'll take a little bit of this mud here on this.
That's it? I've been caking on like a big pile of it. It looks like an elephant walked across my trowel.
I didn't want to spread around this trowel because you should actually scrape clean this trowel as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Again, the dry plaster on here,
Yeah, yeah.
you'll eventually work
It does make it
loose,
kind of.
and you end up putting it on the wall. Let's head
Right.
over to the wall over here.
So I was just over here sanding, folks. That's what he's laughing at me for.
Well, if you want to take an angle shot here, you can see where the transition
Okay,
part
I'm gonna go under a ladder, which is really bad news. Okay.
So if you can take a look here, you see the gap between the trowel and the wall.
Yeah, yeah. All right.
Now, ideally, you should try and fill that entire gap
This whole.
in between there and there. You can actually see if we can put something dark underneath it. Just a second here. Can you see you can actually see the shadow that's
Yeah,
cast
right.
behind there. Now, ideally, you want to fill in that area there. A lot of times, you can actually leave a bit of the curve in there. Now, it's hard to see on the camera, but there's a definite lip here. It's almost like a speed bump. And you were trying to sand that, which would have taken, you could have done it, it would have taken you a while.
That's what I've been doing to this whole room, man.
I noticed, so I felt bad that you were sanding away there, so I figured
Thanks.
to give you a little pointer here. Now,
Appreciate that.
you take your mud, plaster, and you apply it over the area,
Oh, how the heck did you do that?
and then you just sweep it across. And now
What?
you create- Now, when you put mud on, sorry, these little techniques, sorry. You put mud on there, the best way to apply it onto the wall
Yeah.
is when you go this way, you're scraping it off. But when you go this way, you're smearing it on. And
Whoa.
you roll the trowel, so this corner gets a lot of pressure, and this side does not. So when you're laying it in, you actually plaster on. Now, when you run your thing, you run across here, and you feather it out. Again, you can take the mud that you just took off of one and apply it onto the other. And you're going to continue that all the way across. And that'll give you a whole lot of
No way.
smoother areas.
And there's no sanding to be done on that.
Yeah,
You've got it
that's-
in one fell swoop. You've gotten that whole.
That's the whole point of it. I hate sanding. So
How?
whenever I do this, I make it so I don't have to sand. So, I mean, it's obviously good
I
now.
love sanding.
Well, we can just make a couple of gouges for you.
No,
right?
that's okay. I've done enough of those.
Well, if it's hard to tell now, but if you put this across here, you'll see that the ridge is gone.
Yeah, no,
I've taken a ridge and basically
it's nice and
feathered it out.
smooth now. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
the major trick to see the gap is still there, but it's a lot less. The major trick to drywall taping is don't be afraid to make your bead wide. You get a little bead like this. If it's not absolutely perfect, it's going to stand out.
Yeah.
So if you have a difference between here and it's a 1/4 inch, if you spread it out to here, you'll never see that 1/4 inch.
Right.
But if you go from here to here, you'll always
But see,
that
it's been for me that would have taken forever because this took 2 coats to do that like little 3.
Yeah,
3 or
when
4
when you do this, you should have used one of these, and when you did your coat, you should have made it as wide as you could with this trowel.
See, I've tried that, and I end up getting this messy. Well, I mean, you can see here,
Yeah,
like that's
You don't
what
have enough- you don't-
I end up with.
You don't end up putting enough material on the wall as part of the problem. So if you put, because the trowel wants to try and take material off. So if you put enough material on, if you only put it here, you're only going to scrape it off there. But if you put it right across the whole area there, when you run the trowel across,
Yeah.
you scrape. Now you're applying mud from here to here. which makes for a
Whoa.
much neater finish. And one of the things a lot of people do, which costs them a lot of time and aggravation, is if they have like a little dimple or a little marker, they go, oh, I better go back and fix that. Well, they fix that and they screw up.
Oh yeah, because by then I've
and then
found
they're trying
it's
to
already
fix up
half
those other
dry.
stuff. So by the time you're done, you've done more damage than good.
Right.
So if you do have a little defect,
Look at that.
don't worry about it. You'll
You
fill it
guys
in
saw
there.
this just a second ago, right? It looked like that. Dude, so, oh my gosh, how's your availability? You could have this place done in like an hour.
Oh yeah, a place like this shouldn't take.
I spent like my entire, I had the Labor Day holiday.
Yeah.
I spent the whole day here.
Wow.
The whole day.
Wow.
Doing what you just did in 5 minutes.
Don't you wish you would have met me earlier? You could actually enjoy your Labor Day.
Yeah. Could have been a relaxed day.
Yeah.
Wow.
The other little trick, when you have a butt joint like this,
Yeah.
where it's not a beveled edge or not a corner bead, you're going to want to put
Yeah, I see you've done thicker
mud.
there.
Yeah, so what I usually do is I do actually 2 pre-beads where I do mud here
Yeah.
and I'll do mud up here.
Okay.
And I'll actually leave that to set on these 2 areas.
Yeah.
And then the next coat I do will go from here and another coat here and then fill in the area in there. And then again, I'll make the butt joints from this spot to this spot so that that
wow.
hump gets
Yeah.
hidden over
Wow.
2 feet of space as opposed to 3 inches of space.
Nice.
Just a little pointer.
Yeah, and see, and I'm having a real difficult time hiding that within this amount of space.
Yeah, when you have just a small amount like that, you will never be able to hide it because it's too short a distance to transition between one level and the other. So by flaring it out, it makes it more gradual.
Basically, we need to get T-shirts made that say, "Robbie, you're doing it wrong." Got it. Okay.
It wouldn't be that hard on you. Come on.
How many years have you been doing this to be able to do that?
I've been in this game for about 25 years now.
Wow.
And it's one of those things that I watched someone do it and got a few pointers from them and quickly figured out that if I fine-tune the pointers, I can do a lot more work with a lot less sanding. And unlike you, Robbie, I hate sanding.
No, that was called sarcasm. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, I did my best to bribe Vince. Offered him lots of cash monies, but no, I didn't, because that's not how we work, unfortunately. But okay, I'm gonna try the strategy that he's got, because I think if I can do it like that, then that means sanding is a breeze. So I could do the next coat tomorrow, and because what I've been doing is coming in sanding for a couple or a few hours, burning out, and then not having enough energy to do the next coat. So then I got to come back the next day and do the next coat. It's like takes 2-3 days just to do one coat of mud.
This way here, you're just flaring it out and you sand at the end, basically.
Yeah.
Makes things a lot
I'm
easier.
gonna try. He makes it look way too easy, but I know it's not gonna be like that for me.
Don't underestimate yourself. It's not that hard. It comes with a little bit of practice, but you'll get it.
So these caulking guys like to do their work during the day. So Vince came tonight to take a look, find out what he needs to do to seal up the couple of leaks that are left, and is going to return tomorrow. I'll be at work while you're here, so we'll be communicating by email. But unfortunately, I won't be able to be here to, say hi, bring you coffees, things like that. But
I may wait for coffee.
so thanks for coming. Thanks for all your help.
All right.
Cheers.
I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks.
And here's hoping for good news.
Yeah, hopefully it's as simple as I think it's going to be, and we'll be a quick fix, and it'll solve the problem. So,
Awesome. Okay.
all right.
And I'll keep going on the inside stuff. So
You can let me know how you make out with the plastic.
yeah, I'll let you know. The whole world will know. Yeah, it's not gonna look like yours.
Sure.
I'll try. All right.
All right.
Thanks, man.
That's right.
Okay, let's give this a go. Now he kind of put it on there, and how did he do it? Yeah, kind of like that, right? got it started for him, right? Okay. Is that the way to do it? I guess that's a bit closer. Oh yeah, he wanted me to kind of go down like this. Right? Something like that. Man, they make it look easy, don't they? That is a lot different. That's for sure. Okay. Neat. I think I'm doing it. Let's try this. Well, that's not nearly right. Oh yeah, I gotta do that first. And then scrape. Okay, I'm not nearly getting the swim lines that he did, but it's making some sense. No, that's not right. That's a bit better. Okay, so I'm going to keep working at it, and then I'm going to come back to you once I've gotten a little bit more experience trying the new way, and we'll see how I do. Let's hope by the time I come back, I could be exceptional at this. Well, I kind of got partway around the room, and then the kids showed up, and Becca, everybody's here, and Jean's here too. Hey, Jean.
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
So, Jean, you've been looking at some things to do with this nasty bathroom over there.
Yes.
And we mentioned about this kind of wallpaper stuff. So we were just looking at this, and I thought, hey, this is kind of neat. We should probably have this. So, Becca was like, is it going to show?
I don't know.
Let's see. Look at it. So this is like it looks like a stucco kind of, doesn't it?
Textured wallpaper.
Textured wallpaper.
Yes.
And it's paintable if you want to make it a certain color.
That's right. Cool. And the idea is to
Can I see
cover
that?
up the roughness.
Can't
Oops,
see it now.
there we go.
Yeah, just to cover it all up, because it was just going to be too nasty to
Yeah,
to fix that
to
up.
fuss with. So.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
Oh, and
Wallpaper. Of all things, check this out, folks. Gene, would these be reflective? Like, would we have trouble? I can't believe that's wallpaper. It looks so
I
real.
don't think these would be. Some would be that have a shinier, finish
Yeah.
on them. But if you look at that, it's not too bad.
Zach? Oh.
I smell Daddy's sandwich.
I like brick. I mean, I've always liked brick. It has kind of the almost like a little comedy club kind of look.
Right? Yes.
Are these actual samples? This is actual. Oh, I thought these were prints of.
No,
But these
they're-
are actually samples.
Yeah, pieces of. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have the brick and samples, or
The
just
first one.
that? Okay, I see. I thought I was looking at a picture
That's
of
a
it.
picture.
That's a picture.
the
And
paper.
this is. Oh, okay. So you can feel the texture of it. Neat. Okay, so how reflective is it? Well, we can see right now because we're under these 5500K lights.
Except like that.
It's going to be on the wall, and the lights are going to be pointed right at it because we do have the soft boxes, right? Look at that. Kids are gone. That's why it's so quiet in here. Jean's still here. She's making some measurements and everything. I'm doing my best. I'm almost out of mud, which is it's always something, right, Jean?
Yes.
So-
That's laid plan.
I'm going to do everything that I possibly can. I'm going to try to give this one a go. I'm really low on mud though. I love the wallpaper idea, by the way. That's going to work really, really well.
Hopefully fairly easy and inexpensive.
Yeah, I hope so. I didn't mention to those of you who are watching, we contacted Westcott. They're the company that made our drape for us the last time, that brick wall that you see behind us on the set. They do a wonderful job, and they were on standby back in January when we started working on getting Studio D together. And I contacted them this week to find out what it was going to cost to get a nice wall put in. And unfortunately, they are getting out of the business of scenic wall coverings and scenic backgrounds, so they're not going to do anything for our studio anymore. So we have to come up with an alternative, and that's where Jean has already come up with the drywall idea, or not the I'm doing drywall, the wallpaper. I think it's a great idea, and it looks way better than I ever expected. I like to blame the trowel.
Absolutely. I think it's probably the trowel.
Yeah. I mean, how else does it get lines in it?
Well, that's what bugged me all the time. You drag little bits or whatever.
Oh, look at that.
You're
It's
thinking like really?
I didn't make those lines. But then this is the same trowel that our buddy Vince was using.
I was just going to say, don't go there. Don't go there.
He just was like, oh yeah, just do this and make it look real easy. That's what 25 years experience will do for you. I think that's a lot better than I was doing though. Certainly a lot wider. I was doing the whole 2 inches at a time thing. This is where we had that giant hole in the wall. No longer. goodness. I just dropped a big wad of mud on our new coffee table.
Well,
Here I am just, trying to keep it clean.
Might wanna get it off while it's wet.
You think so?
Yeah. Well.
Or will it just
we'll
come
see.
off like a piece of
Well,
hard
I don't know, it
plaster?
depends. Sometimes I've had that happen and I can't get it off as well as I thought.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh! Isn't that lucky? It landed on a piece of cardboard.
Awesome.
Nice. Okay, so this is where, okay, so I finished up the mud, and this is part of that. I'm just kind of polishing off the edge there. So what I did is I used mud just like Brad had told me to make a level kind of surface on this windowsill, so that then when this all dries, I'll be able to actually put a windowsill on there, flatten it out. I'm probably going to have to glue down the corner bead because I'm not going to be able to screw it in to the mud, so that's easy enough. But that's all the mud that I have. Hi! I'm out of mud, and Jean's got all the measurements that she needs to figure out where to go next, and so I'm going to go over to lavar.ca tomorrow morning and pick up hopefully the paint, but we don't need the paint yet because we've got the primer. We're going to get started on that this weekend. We're going to get rollers and all that kind of stuff that we need, and beyond that, I guess, what do we got to do?
Well, prime first, right? And
Yeah.
then I have to go shopping and scout out the paper.
Okay, Jean's going to find us some affordable brick wall-like paper
Paper and something for the bathroom.
for the bathroom.
Well, I
too.
sort of found the one, but.
I like that kind of stucco look.
Yeah.
It's interesting, and I touched that bathroom. You can see I started mudding it,
Mm-hmm.
and I just thought, it's too
Be a
bad.
week in there.
Well, because what happened, folks, is it used to be a closet, and so everything was kind of glued into the walls, and then they ripped it out, and they put in the vanity and the toilet, and just that was it. So when they ripped everything out, it left
Damage.
a lot of damage.
Yeah.
So rather than filling it all, we're covering it with wallpaper,
Exactly.
which is, I think, a great idea. So, and the rest of this is going to look great. We're going to put drapes. Jean and I were talking about this off camera. So brick wall, it sounds like a good idea, right? Brick, I think, works for the show and the nature, the way that we do the show. And then just some nice drapes over top of the windows to cover it up. It'll still look like
comfortable feel.
it'd almost be almost as cool as my basement, except with windows.
Is
So
that brick in your basement?
we have a faux brick Westcott drape.
Aha.
Does that count?
Is that the one that you had?
That's the one that we have right like in Studio C. So Studio D, we need to figure something out. I think that's going to work well. So I'll let you know when Jean lets me know what we're going to do as far as that wall goes, as far when we have a final decision on that. So
Stay tuned.
thank you very much, everybody. Check out cat5.tv/studio. Jean, thank you very much
You're welcome.
for coming and all your help.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody. Good night.